Hello everyone, I'm Rodrigo, and I'm here to show you one of the things I like about Python, right? So, what I'll show you is a program that builds this simple calculator. So it's a tkinter, I don't know how you say it, sorry. So, okay, so tkinter is fine. So it's a tkinter is fine calculator. You just press the numbers, and it evaluates what's written there. It's very simple, and I found, this is the source code for what I showed you, I found it online. And what I'll show you is how to take this piece of code and make it more elegant. Yeah? So the first thing you can do is you can remove some lines that you don't need. For example, the return BT, which is the 5th, 6th line over there, it's not needed. And you can, at the bottom, you can use an enumerate to get rid of the keys. And it also cleared up a couple of things inside the list comprehension. Now what you can do next is realize that statements are bad and expressions are good. And so what I want to do now is, and this only works in Python 3.8 or after, I'm going to replace all the assignment statements with assignment expressions, because I can. Right? And so that's what I did. Except we have a problem, because there's 4 assignments that I could not get rid of because they're using indexing, which are this text inside DTPress. BT, which stands for button, obviously. So inside BTPress, I could not get rid of the assignments. So what I'll do is I'll create an auxiliary function that updates the display text. So we create a function. Now I said that statements are bad, that's why we have a lambda there, because it's an expression, right? Now what I can do is, I can use the function I just created, otherwise I could just remove it. So we use the update function. Now what I like about this, and of course I'm being a little bit extreme here, but the general idea holds, is that you should, for some measure of should, try to not nest too much code. And if you look at what I've done there inside the if, elif, else, I've called update on all 4 branches. The only thing that's really changing is what's inside the update. So what I can do is I can extract the logic so that it's clear that what I'm changing is the argument, because the function call is always the same. But now, if I'm using an if, elif, else to assign a value to a variable, I might as well just rewrite the assignment with not 1, but 3 conditional expressions. And this is what I was talking about across multiple lines, but you gotta save lines. So we're going to flatten it out, and because now we will have a flat expression, we can change BTPress for a lambda. And now I wanted to keep the font size kind of readable, so that the code just keeps on the right, yeah? So it's hidden because it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't. So, oh yeah, now I want to zoom in a little bit, yeah? Just if we are ignoring whatever's on the right margin, we can zoom in just a little bit. No, it's just so it's easier to read. I feel I'm being mocked. Now, there's 2 statements left. It's the import statement and the def over there. So let's get rid of the import statements. Apparently there's a built-in function that does it. I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying you can, right? And honestly I think this is the nicest, the most entertaining part. Entertaining as in, because this has pedagogical value. You shouldn't do this because you might get fired. But there's some, or your PRs will be probably rejected. But we are doing interesting things. And now the final challenge is realizing that BT draw is going to stay a statement unless we figure out a way to combine the 2 expressions that I have over there. Now, can I see your hands up if you know what Boolean short-circuiting is? Short-circuiting. Wait, no one knows? So very few hands. No shenanigans. Boolean short-circuiting. Like if you have A and B, if A is false, we don't even get to B. Okay, so if you know short-circuiting, you know what I'm about to do. I call it long-circuiting. So the first expression evaluates to true, or to truthy, because a button, a class, is truthy. And so I can use let me think for a second. I can use an AND to put the 2 expressions together. So I moved the bt.grid, I moved it to the right of the assignment to button, and I added an AND in there. It's almost at the right it's at the right end of the margin, right? So now there's a single expression inside the function, I can make it a lambda, and now all I have in front of me actually on my side, in front of you, it's a bunch of expressions, and you already know how to put them together into one expression. What do you use? It's the something circuiting. What is it? It's the long circuiting, yes. And so now I added it's just so you see which ones you use. And now what's interesting is going through the lines and figuring out where to use an and where to use for some measure of interesting. It's interesting to figure out which one goes where. And then since it's all one expression, you could just fit it into one line, which is a very elegant line of code. And now, I mean, maybe I sound convincing, but I want to show you that it actually runs for some measure of runs, because I couldn't get it to run on my own computer because I couldn't install Takinter. Takinter is fine. So what I'll do is I'll divide by 6 here, and it appears to be working. I don't know. Should I calculate something else, or are you convinced that it works? Yeah, okay, so once again, thank you for putting up with me, and if for some reason you want the code, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So today we're